My name is Dantes Akram. I'm a 23-year-old entrepreneur from Cleveland, Ohio, father, hustler, two-time six-figure business owner, and as well as a seven-figure business owner. I own the #1 clothing brand server in the world, Limitless Investments. Come check us out.
I'm sure most of you guys know Tez. It's no secret that me and Tez are very close. It's funny because Tez, maybe he moved here just a few months ago, but before that, I was begging Tez to come down here like 4 or 5 months. Like, bro, get to Atlanta, get to Atlanta, get to Atlanta. And it was interesting because he was in Cleveland, so he was like in a spot that where typically, hey, it's a smaller city, whatever, but he was like a really big fish in a small pond. And I was like, Tez, you gotta get out of the small pond where you're the big fish at and come get into a bigger pond with a bunch of big fish so you can really grow. Because I was telling like an analogy where it's like, if you put a shark in a fish tank, it'll only grow to the level of the fish tank that it's in. So when he came down here, we befriended each other really well. He became like a little brother to me, and he's just been killing the game on the organic content, killing the game on the webinars, killing the game on the teaching, and has his own multiple brands that he's running all at one time. So he's going to be talking about the pre-order method, like I said, but one of my closest friends out here, high-level entrepreneur, Dantes Akram. Everybody.
Yeah. So my boy JP, I want to say a huge shout out to my boy JP for putting something like this together. This actually inspired me to do something similar to it. But again, he's probably one of the most genuine people I know. Him and Will are probably legitimately the most legitimate people I know and honest people I know when it comes to actually genuinely caring to help other people. So with that being said, today's presentation, I'm gonna be teaching y'all about the pre-order method. I'm gonna be sharing with y'all some secrets that I never even put into podcast interviews or stuff like that, just because it's I really, really, really am interested to see y'all succeed, and not to get anything back from y'all. So that's one of my goals for today's presentation. We are gonna be in the computer, so I do need everybody to crack open a computer. If you don't have a computer, use a tablet. If you don't have a tablet, use your phone. You gotta have a phone, I ain't even know. So I'm gonna make sure that we good to go, and then we're gonna start the presentation. So one of my favorite reasons that I love the pre-order method is because a lot of people don't have the necessary funds to start their brand the right way. Now, how many people have a clothing brand in here? Everybody, okay, perfect. So we all know that, material costs and product costs gets out of hand sometimes. And sometimes, especially when you first starting your business off or you're not really getting the sales that you want, in the beginning, it can be frustrating not to have the money that you want to put down on inventory. So one of my very first ways of getting into this when I started my clothing brand, One Love, was the pre-order method. Now, the crazy part is I didn't know Justin, I didn't know Will, I didn't know anybody in e-commerce, if I'm being honest with y'all. I was just a little small town kid, Cleveland, Ohio, and the only people I knew that had successful businesses were small business owners around me. And they didn't even know more than I knew about it. So for me, when I stumbled across this process and this system that I created, it was it solved the majority of my issues when it came to finances in the beginning, because I didn't want to put down $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 out of pocket every single drop until I got to the point where I can afford to, and our audience is obviously there, right? So with the Pre-Order Now app, this is gonna be one that I want y'all to go ahead and just download onto your Shopify store right now. This is one that no matter what, you're gonna use it within the next 30 days. I'm already 100% sure. Now, the biggest reason, again, that I love it is because #1, it doesn't take a lot of money to start, right? So one of my favorite ways to kind of explain it is the way I explain it to my students is, let's just say for this jacket, for example, this is one of my drops, right? And the way that we would break it down is we would go buy the sample from the manufacturer first. So the reason I'm buying the sample is I might buy it for myself, I might buy it for an influencer, I may buy it for whoever I have that's gonna actually model the photo shoot for me. Now, the reason this is important is because the sample is literally not gonna cost you that much money. Most samples, actually I'm gonna tell y'all how to get y'all samples for free too, that's cool. Literally you gotta finesse a little bit, right? A little bit of cap is gonna take you a little farther than normal, right? So what I would do is I would tell these manufacturers yo, I'm dealing with these influencers. I have this many followers. We're getting this many sales. Saying all of your accolades, right, will help you get the free sample. So that's just something to put out there. Even if you don't officially have them, just say Kanye wore my hoodie or something like that. And then they're going to be more likely to actually give you a free sample, right? Now, whether or not you pay for the sample or not, you're going to get the sample. And once it comes in, you want to make sure you test the quality, obviously, make sure that everything is good to go, right? Now, the next thing that you want to do is you want to take that sample, and just in case if you don't have a lot of money, look, you can literally have a blank white, paper, and sit the sample on top of the item and just take a picture on top of it, right? Now, the dope thing about Shopify is that we have multiple different collages of images that we can use. So that very first image, I would have just a blank white canvas of the product and then somebody else wearing it on the next slide, right? So that's gonna help you with your conversion rate as well. If you're not already doing that, definitely add that, all right? Now, again, the main concept around why we're doing this is to be as cost effective as possible, right? So now we got the sample picture, we have the sample in hand, and then we're gonna go take it and have a photo shoot with it, right? Now again, if you don't have the funds to hire a photographer and things like that, you can literally find like local college students, they're always looking to make money, right? Like they sometimes don't have the money to even deal with what they have going on, right? So local college students, you can literally look up photographers near me on Google, right? You can go to Instagram. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all have friends who have aspirations to be photographers, let's just be honest, right? So use your friends, use your connections, right? Now, when you have this photo shoot, what I realized what helped my pre-orders a lot was my scenery in the back of my photos, right? So I had a post of, like, for me, my brand is all family orientated. So it was me and my daughter and my little sister. And I realized like the scenery that we had along with the family theme helped a lot with getting people to convert and getting people to buy from the business, right? So what we did was we had a photo shoot in like a super like grassy area, but the setting in the background, like the sun and everything was just coming down, like everything looked perfect, right? So what I would recommend to y'all is go to different places where you can try different sceneries, right? So sometimes I might do a photo shoot on a brick wall, right? Just because brick sometimes pops and it makes your clothing pop, especially the colors, which that's something else I'll get into a little later, right? So now we're gonna make sure that we do this photo shoot in a clean spot. We can either do it in a brick, we can do it in like a photo gallery and like all types of different things that they have, right? But just make sure it's something creative outside, or if you gotta start with your phone, literally I know the new iPhone just came out. There's settings on there that you guys can use to enhance the picture and actually, make it a little bit more high depth, right? So that's the very first process, is really getting the sample in, having that photo shoot, and then taking those photo shoot pictures and uploading everything into Shopify, right? Now, when we upload them into Shopify, obviously you already know how to enter products in there, so I'm not gonna explain that, right? But once we upload it, we're gonna go into the pre-order now app, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna enable all of the settings, right? Now, what this app is gonna allow you to do, and just to kind of break down the pre-order method, we have different ways of how we run it and how I teach my students. So for me, when I first started out, I started with a 72-hour pre-order. So basically what that looked like was we had a photo shoot, we had a bunch of different images, and what I did was, this is very key, promote the pre-order, right, 2 weeks in advance. So let's just say November 15th is when we're having our pre-order. I will be saying these exact words. Hey y'all, November 15th, we're having our very first pre-order. It's only gonna be 72 hours. So I'm always using scarcity and urgency, always. Whatever sale I have, whatever drop I have, there's always some sort of scarcity and urgency to push people to go buy when I want them to buy, right? Now, what you're gonna do is, again, you're gonna be able to promote this for 2 weeks, and this is how we're gonna build the traffic, right? So before I even get into the app, to kind of tell y'all how y'all gonna get traffic is, there's a couple different ways, and there's a couple ways that I love, right? So I'll tell y'all the ways that I love first, right? Number one, you can definitely do everything organic, right? If you don't have a lot of funds, start organic, but just post consistent. Like, I know you talk a lot on TikTok and stuff like that, and there's a bunch of you guys, I've seen y'all on TikTok already, right? Posting on TikTok for 2 weeks straight, I'm talking every single day. Like, all you have to do is literally like, I literally did a design yesterday when we were at the dinner, and I went on TikTok and I said, yo, y'all, this is my second design that I ever made. What do y'all think, right? So now I'm getting people to engage with me, and then now they're gonna let me know if it's fire or not. So then that's your second opinion. You don't have to go to somebody near you, right? But the very first thing that you need to look at is that you're gonna get engagement from that, and now TikTok, the algorithm is gonna start putting you into that process of those types of people seeing your content, right? So that's the very first way. The second way is gonna be the influencer way, right? right? So influencers, you can literally take your item and send that to an influencer and then have them post it weeks in advance. That way you can run an ad to that post, right? Or honestly, if you don't even want to run an ad, you can just keep it organic depending on who the influencer is, right? So what I recommend is somebody with more than 30,000 followers, right? Like I think people over categorize, influencers. I think if you use many influencers or even TikTok influencers, that can push your brand a lot more than you just doing it all organic on your own. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be cost effective as well because you could just send them a free item, pay them $100, $200, and then they'll wear it and then take that content, right? So this is how we're going to be able to get that following that we want to actually boost our sales on that pre-order. Now, again, the most important part is setting a date and a time. Like if I could have done anything different, I would have promoted a lot longer. And I would have made sure that when I was promoting, that I was always using urgency in every single post. Like this is only gonna be 72 hours. Like I'm telling y'all told me y'all loved it. We got hundreds of thousands of people asking us about it. I'm telling y'all, you wanna be the first one there. And then what I would do is I would run a sale for the people or do a giveaway for the people who order within the first 2 hours, right? So now it incentivizes people to hurry up and check out so they can see if they can win the giveaway or see if they can win a free shirt or something like that if you're doing something like that, right? Now, again, this is the best way to start your clothing brand simply because I just told y'all something that literally took you, maybe it's gonna probably take you about a week or so to actually knock out, maybe 2 weeks, but it costs you less than $300 entirely, right? So now there's no excuse as to why you can't start your clothing brand and why you can't do it and why you can't do that. Like there's no reason. All you have to do is come up with the design. You send that mock-up or that vector over to the manufacturer. Manufacturer sends you the sample. You get the sample in. You take pictures of it, then have a photo shoot with it. Now you have content ready to go. And then always, this is something I wish I would have known when I first started, right? I want you to write this down. Even though you have a photographer, have somebody else there, mom, dad, friend, cousin, sister, recording everything. That's just additional content. So what I would do is I would make 10-second, 15-second TikTok clips. No matter what pose they're doing, I'm always doing something different. It's just a different angle and different creative that you can use because some things actually work better than others, right? So I will start using this method of having other people there while the photographer is there. And sometimes what I would do is I would have the person recording with the phone, record the photographer taking pictures of the photo shoot because now it looks more cinematic, the fact that, oh wow, they're having a photo shoot. Now we can see the behind the scenes of it. Now that's additional content. And then when you go on TikTok and you're on your personal page, you can say, hey, here's the behind the scenes of my photo shoot for my brand. What you think of the drop? Drop it in the comments. Now you got people engaged. Now you posting. Now you got different themes. And I mean, you got different creatives. But again, now you have the pictures, then you have the video, and now you don't have to pay anything for the video. So now you got extra content on top of that you don't have to pay for, all right? Which is my favorite way of starting stuff efficiently, right? So where does the Pre-Order Now app come in? Basically what the Pre-Order Now app is, for me, I love to make sure that my communication is on point. Like for customer service, I know every single person in here knows what it feels like to deal with that, that one customer that's just cussing you out. Like, I don't like dealing with that, right? And of course I outsourced the customer service portion, so I don't see too much of that right now. But one really big and huge part about it is communication. Like your communication is so key. So letting your customers know that this is gonna be something where it's gonna take 4 to 6 weeks for them to receive it, right? So basically how this concept goes, after you have that photo shoot and after you do all of those different things, promoting, you got content ready to go, now we gotta remember with the pre-order, they're buying it from us first before we even have any inventory, right? That sample is just a blank page, right? Just a blank sample, right? And that's what we're just using on our website. So that sample is what we're using on our website, right? But we didn't order anything in hand, right? So now we have everything that we need to actually start, but we don't have any inventory. So one thing we have to let the customers know is, and you wanna know this, write this down, know how long it takes for bulk orders. Like just ask a manufacturer, hey, if I ordered 100 items, just throw out 100, right? If I ordered 100 items, realistically, how long would it take for me to get it? Like me to actually have the box in my hand, right? I wanna know this because that's how I'm gonna tell my customers based off of the time frame that I get from the manufacturer, I'm gonna have to add another week or 2 on top of it until they can get their item, right? So I'm gonna be letting them know this ahead of time. So the problem is I've seen people do pre-orders before, especially some of my students, and they ask me, Tez, I have a lot of customer issues and all of these different things. And I tell them, did you communicate everything? Well, yeah, I sent them I posted on our Instagram. I said, well, how are they supposed to remember that? Right? So this is why I love the Pre-Order Now app. Now, the dope thing about this, we're gonna actually go into it right now. The dope thing about this app is that it allows you to be a little bit better when it comes to communicating, right? So what we're gonna do is, Actually, this is a brand new website, so there's not gonna be any products on here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over here. I wonder if I can just make something real quick. Okay, we don't have any products on this website, so I'll just show you guys based off of what I have right now. So we're gonna start right here. So when you download the Pre-Order Now app and you go to the settings, this is the very first portion. Now, the reason I absolutely love this app is because it makes it very transparent, right? So the first thing that this app is gonna do, y'all know how we have a regular add to cart button? It completely removes the add to cart button and now replaces it with what you want it to say. So now I'm gonna put Pre-Order Now on there because now, number one, I'm communicating that this is a pre-order. So before you even purchase it, just know it's not coming in 5 to 7 days. Right? That's the very first thing. Now, the pre-order message, this was one of my favorite parts that saved me in the beginning when I first started doing this is, and again, I just stumbled upon this app one day, right? But the pre-order now message, what we can do is we can type, hey, this is our pre-order. It's going to take 4 to 6 weeks for you to receive it. Now, what happens is when anytime they hover over this pre-order now button, this message pops up or it's going to already be on there if they're on mobile. So now there's no reason that they don't know about it, right? That's number one, right? Now, the second thing is you can move this add to cart button however way you want. And then also on top of that, the dope thing about this app is that you can, filter in your inventory and actually manage everything within the app. So for example, let's just say like one of my students, they reached out to me after they did a pre-order method and they said, hey Tez, like how do I like track everything? Like people purchase from my website, but I don't want to go through every single order to figure out what this person ordered, this person ordered, this order. Like, no, we don't have to do that. Inside of the app, it tracks everything, colors, sizes, everything that you have as far as your inside of your product as unlisted on Shopify is going to say inside of this app. So one thing that I love doing is in-housing everything, right? So now if I can run my entire pre-order process, streamline everything through this one app, now it makes it a lot easier for me. And on top of that, website speed is going to be faster because I don't need all these additional apps for this. Like everything is already housed in one platform, right? Now, again, this is super dope because again, now you're able to communicate a lot easier when you're dealing with your pre-orders, right? Now, the dope thing again, you can set your time frames. So for us, and write this down, time frame is important on how long you're gonna do this pre-order for. So for me, I love urgency. I only do 72 hours, I ain't gonna lie, right? Like I want people to get in and out. But one of my students, Malachi, he actually tested this out. He did 14 days. Now, I would have never tried 14 days if I just be honest with y'all. However, it did work for him. So he ended up having this photo shoot. And the crazy part is one of his posts ended up going viral on TikTok. So he pushed everybody to the pre-order, and I'm gonna show y'all some sauce after this app, right? That's gonna help you with, getting the traffic back in there, right? But basically it went viral, and then after 14 days, he made $30,000 just off doing the same exact method. Now, guess how much money he spent out of pocket though? $600. So you make but obviously, design and things like that play a part. But if you have one post pop off and you're doing this method, you start with $600, you just made $30,000. How many different things could that change for you right now, right? That's how you have to ask yourself. But if you're never consistent and you never try it and you never even knew about this app, then you wouldn't have known, right? But he's using the same exact app that y'all are about to use, right? So again, making sure we set in a time frame. Somebody ask a question? Oh, no. So basically, we can set this time frame to either 3 days. This is what I recommend. 3 days, like max is like 15 days. I'm not gonna lie. So if you're gonna do it, do 72 hours. And if not, you're gonna do 15 days or anywhere in between. Anywhere in between those is perfectly fine. Now, if you do it a longer time frame, I highly, highly recommend that you're posting like I'm talking, you gotta post every single day. You gotta use urgency every day. I'm hitting those story posts every single day. I gotta have at least 5 story posts up on there. I need them to know. Then I'm having my call to action inside of the story post. I'm telling people inside of the post itself when I post it on Instagram, yo, make sure you copy right now. The sale ends in 72 hours or it ends in 48 hours or something like that, right? Now, the next most important part I want y'all to write down is the incentive. It's the incentive. So why in the world would somebody wait 4 to 6 weeks for my item when Amazon has already normalized getting things to people within 1 day, right? So I have to give them something in order to receive something from them, which is the money that I need, right? So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start off, and depending on your margins, so this is like one very important thing as a clothing brand owner, you gotta know your margins. On every product that you drop, I want you to know your percentages. I want you to know how much profit, your profit percentage. I want you to know how much money you make profit per item that you sell, right? So knowing those things, write that down somewhere. Like that's not something you should just pop off your head. Like you should be able to go into a spreadsheet and look at the prices of your items and then literally be able to say, okay, I'm making this much profit when I sell this. right? So I'm doing that with every single product. I don't care how many products you drop. I don't care if they're the same prices. I don't care if the names, like if the names are different, they all need their own slots within that spreadsheet. Keep everything organized, all right? So again, we're gonna use the pre-order now app, and then we're gonna give them an incentive, right? So my incentive is gonna be anywhere from 20 to 40% off, right? 20 to 40% off. Now, mind you, we're not coming out of pocket anything. So even if you do take a cut on the amount of money that that somebody's spending with you, you're still making profit because you started with nothing. You only started with the photo shoot, right? And the photo shoot, 9 times out of 10 was probably free, or it was less than $300. Now that's how much I would tell you guys to spend at the most, unless you're going like super high quality, $500-600 is the most I would spend on a photo shoot. But 9 times out of 10 is gonna be less than that, right? So now I'm gonna give them this incentive, and now I'm gonna tell them, hey, when you spend money with us today throughout this 72 hours, although it's gonna take 4 to 6 weeks to get to you, hey, we're gonna give you 30% off, right? And now that's gonna be like if Louis Vuitton had a 30% off sale, right? And it only lasted 72 hours, a lot of people are gonna go buy, right? And depending on, they probably wouldn't even care how long it would take for them to receive their item. 30% off at Louis Vuitton is like, yo, I'm there, right? So I want them to feel the same exact way, especially if you have fire, especially if you're like progressively growing your brand. A lot of you already have them started. This is a dope way to actually get people to come to your website, know what time frame, have an incentive, get them to buy, and then now you have their emails as well, all right? So did y'all like this app right here, pre-order now? All right, cool. So there is another section inside of here. So if you guys ever wanted to, like, this app is absolutely insane. You can literally send out all of your emails through the app. So everybody who purchased for the pre-order, you can literally just email all of them selectively, like through here. So now I don't have to download Klaviyo. I don't have to, even though it's already integrated with Shopify now, I think, since their last update, right? But now I don't have to go through there to do all that. It's already gonna be through the app. So again, keeping everything in-house, and then also at the bottom, add your discount. So now guess what? I don't have to make a discount code through Shopify. I can just add it through here, and everything is tracked through this app. Everything, right? Now, if you wanted to add additional scarcity, right? You can add stock warnings. So basically you can say, hey, we only have 5 items left. I would keep that up the entire, as soon as the website dropped, after an hour, I would turn that on. That way, like, people are like, oh, it's only 4 items left? Let me make sure I secure mine, right? Now, again, they do have a free trial on this. I think the price on this app, I think it's $7 a month or something like that. Don't charge me on that. But again, this is the app that I would personally use, right? Now, if anything is mixed inside of your cart, they'll give you a warning. So if there's additional things like that, this app is like basically everything that you need inside of it, right? And again, you can sync everything within their collection pages. You can even edit those collection pages for your pre-order as well. And then there's a bunch of other things. So I highly recommend that you guys, because I do have a short amount of time, I highly recommend that you guys go through the app entirely and then just look at all of the different options that they have, all right? So what I'm gonna show y'all next is a very, 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 very important part. Now, you can do the styles, pre-order emails, you can do all of those different things. I highly recommend that you guys just go check it out when you guys get a chance. Now, the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my settings, and the next big part is, again, the communication. So when I go to the settings, I'm gonna click on notifications, and now we have these portions. Have you guys ever messed around with this section? Yeah? So one thing that I did in the beginning is like, I'm not about to email every single customer about how long it's gonna take for them to get it, right? I'm just not gonna do it. Because sometimes we gotta realize people sometimes just buy just based off the urgency, based off the scarcity and the incentive. They're just buying just to buy, right? Because they want it, right? However, this is what I'm doing. I'm coming into the order confirmation. This is the very first email that they're gonna get when somebody purchases from you, right? So I'm gonna come into this section right here. And now I'm going to actually preview it so we can see exactly what it's gonna say when somebody receives something, right? Now, as you guys can see, this is the first thing this is the first email that they're gonna get. You can change all of these different things, of course, but what I'm gonna add is information about your order or something like that on the subject line, right? That way they know to open this one ASAP because it's concerning their order. And then on top of that, I'm gonna tell them inside of here, hey, we just wanna remind, or hey, we wanna thank you again for purchasing from us. However, we do wanna remind you that this will take 4 to 6 weeks. That's my second way of communicating it to them. Second way. This is inside of the settings in Shopify, and then go to notifications. Yep. So again, now I'm letting them know again, because like customer service is so important. But what I realize is you can stop a lot of bad customer service just by like preparing for it ahead of time. So before you even drop your pre-order, this is already in place. Now you're letting them know, hey, it's gonna take 4 to 6 weeks for this item to get to you. We just wanted to let you know, but we do appreciate your order, and then I would throw in an additional discount for an order afterwards, right? Now, the goal with this is to get a lot of people to buy the pre-order, right? To give us the money to start off, and then we have to reinvest our profits. So whatever profits that you make from this has to go back into the orders, right? So 9 times out of 10, depending on how many orders you get, you'll be able to get a good amount of inventory to start that official release for it. Because this is just a pre-order, then you're gonna do the official release, all right? So again, I'm gonna be communicating this in the SMS portion and inside of the email portion. So again, you can literally curate and edit this however much you want, but these are things that I highly recommend that you have just so you don't deal with as much customer service like problems, all right? So let's go back. Now, again, there is other sections in here if you guys want to check them out, but that's just for another time, all right? Now, the next more important part, I actually never shared this with anybody, and I feel like this is gonna help a lot of you guys that are in here, right? So there's this app called Under Construction. I want you to download it or write it down right now, Under Construction. Now, I feel like this is sauce because I've never shared it before, and this is something I've been doing. I've never heard nobody else talk about it. It may be out there, but I just never heard anybody talk about it, right? So the app is called Under Construction, and basically what it is, and the reason I love it is because it doesn't take a lot of time to set up, right? So for me, when I'm doing my pre-orders, if I'm gonna do a brand new drop, I'm shutting my whole website down, right? Because I don't even want them thinking about any other product besides this drop that I'm about to have right now. So the dope thing about Under Construction is that we can literally set a timer on our website, and then we can add a section where they can put their email. So the reason that this is important, I'm gonna show you guys right now, is that we can literally explore from free templates. So for example, Black Friday last year, we did a little less than 50,000 in 72 hours in those 3 days, right? And what I was thinking to myself is like, how could I have been better, right? Now, one thing that I did realize is that although we did have this set up, I wasn't actually collecting the information the way I was supposed to, because I was saving it to a completely different email saving platform. So that kind of messed me up. So you guys will learn from that today, right? But as you guys can see, there's different templates that we can choose from. So depending on the time of the year, we can choose Christmas, Black Friday. They got just a regular Under Construction summertime. They got, you know, female ones if you guys want those ones. But again, the reason this is important is because now I don't need to do anything to set this up. So let's just say Christmas time comes around and we're gonna do a drop around Christmas, or we're gonna have a sale on Christmas, right? What I would do is I would set this up, and at least a week before Christmas or before that date that I'm gonna drop, I'm gonna shut the entire website off, and I'm gonna not get any orders for that first week. And I'm just gonna literally incentivize people to go to the website and put their email in, right? Now, let me see if this loads. Let me refresh it. Let's try that. Guess we're gonna wait for it. We'll just wait for it. So basically with that theme or with those templates, now you're able to set that timer so that now they know when to come back and shop with you. There we go. So now we know when to set the timer, and I'm gonna just show y'all how to set it up real quick. So literally inside of the header, we can remove this image, or if we wanna add a logo, text, and things like that, we can do that if we want to, right? Now the second section is the body section. Now this is where you're gonna control this bottom half, all of this stuff right here, all right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna absolutely, you know, of course, add your social medias in here, right? So then there will be the little pins, or up here actually, where you guys can click and where people can click and actually follow you guys on those social platforms. Now the countdown, again, I'm gonna do this. This is something I do. I'm gonna make sure I set the timer. Let's say if it's 3 days from now, I'm gonna have it ticking, right? But the day of the drop, I'm gonna open the website an hour early. The reason I'm doing this is already people on your website. Like they're 9 times out of 10 hurrying up to sign up because you've already been posting about it the day of and the day before. But now if I open it an hour early, those people who were waiting, 9 times out of 10, if they forget, they probably not coming back until later, or until later in the process of you selling, right? So I'm gonna open this an hour early. So let's just say we set the timer, right? So what we can do is we can go to Edit Settings, and this will take us back inside of the Under Construction app, right? Now what I'm gonna do is, once this loads, I'm gonna set the date for it, right? So select date for countdown. So let's just say it was on the 31st, and let's just say the time was at, let's just say 2:30 p.m. And all you have to do is click that, click save, Right. So now it's automatically saved. So when we come back to here, it's going to automatically update it when we go to the website URL, but we won't do all that. So for right now, it'll say October 31st and it'll start counting down. But this is the most important part about this entire thing. I'm going to be getting, like, when I first did my pre-order, people thought, like, when I had people ask me, they were like, how did you do 10,000 in your first pre-order ever? This is my first time ever having a clothing brand. I did 10,000 in 72 hours. And one of my friends was like, bro, how did you even do that? I said, bro, I put the website wasn't done yet. I didn't even build it yet. I just put this up first so I can start getting contact information. So now I'm pushing people to follow the page from my personal page. Then I'm pushing people to go to the link in our bio on the business page just to put their email in. Because once I get their email, I have that email forever. Like, I know Justin talks about it a lot, and I actually really liked what he said in one of his videos on TikTok. He talks about how much of an asset just having the contact and the data from your customer is. Literally. It's probably one of my favorite videos from you. I think I ever told you, right? So I want to get this information because now I want to reach out to them throughout the pre-order process, right? And then I want to reach out to them before the drop. And then as the drop goes on throughout the 72 hours, 15 days, I'm emailing them every single day, right? Now I'm getting them to either buy again or I'm getting them to buy initially. Now, the dope thing is you can set up a sequence in your emails. This is something I actually did to bring in a little bit of extra dollars. It won't make a huge difference depending on how big your audience is. However, sometimes I'll set up an email after they purchase, giving them a discount to purchase again. All right, and then also on top of that, I highly recommend that you guys have an upsell app on here. You guys know what an upsell app is? Okay, cool. Highly recommend having an upsell app because the dope thing is now you're just raking in extra money. Now your average order value, the amount of money you're making per order is going up because people are given a second option. And what we learned is 30% of people normally take the same exact item again, right? So you can either offer that to them, you can offer a different shirt. If you're doing 3 different items and you're doing a drop, you can just do multiple different items upsold to them. And then if they say no or something like that, or even actually what I would do is after they purchase, I would just give them a discount on it initially because you're not paying anything out of pocket. You don't even have this stuff in hand yet, right? So this is very, 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 very important. And now what you're gonna do is now that you have this set up, you're bringing in the emails, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna not only use Klaviyo, but you're gonna use Shopify emails or whatever app you use, and now you're gonna start spamming their emails, letting them know, yo, pre-orders in 48 hours, it's in 24 hours, it's in 6 hours, it's in 3 hours, it's about to start right now, right? I'm hitting them all these different times to remind them. Then when you unlock the website, when I first did this, I had like 200 people on our website when we first dropped it. This is how you get that huge buildup. Like I know y'all see like Support Black Colleges or World Envision, like they have thousands of people already on the website when they drop. Sometimes they're just sending it out to their email and their text message list, and then they're instantly hitting it, especially if you've already been nurturing them over a period of time. Now they're just gonna be like, oh, this is the time I need to go buy, I'm there. And now you got all these people on your website, and then obviously, you know, you got websites crashing and stuff like that. However, again, there's workarounds to that as well, but nonetheless, this method right here is gonna help you get a lot of those emails in. So for example, if you don't have a brand up and running yet, or let's just say your social media isn't big or anything like that, use your content, get those emails, and then hit them first. And 9 times out of 10, those are gonna be the people interested in buying from you. Make sense? Perfect. So again, a lot of the stuff that I talked about today is very cost efficient. Like when I came in here today, like I know there's different teaching styles that like people like to do. I like to do what works best for me and how I like to learn. And for me, I like to be shown things. I know in high school, for me, I was like, you know, that person, you give me a book, I don't want to read it, right? Like just sit down, talk to me for a little bit, you know, just teach me what I need to know, right? I never was like that person, like just give me something, I'm just gonna, you know, sit there and write it. No, I want to show you guys how to use it. That way when you leave here and when you do your first pre-order, I can get that DM like, yo, Tez, I use your pre-order method, bro. That shit went crazy, right? So that was my goal with today's presentation. I know I'm a little bit over time, or I'm good? Perfect. So the next thing I wanna show y'all too, just real quick, inside of here, give me 1 second. So this portion right here, is it actually here? Yes. So right here at this note section, my bad, y'all. Right here, you can see that you can integrate all of these different email apps. So when they put their email address in here, I'm saving it automatically to one of those apps, and now I'm keeping it forever. So then when we do another drop, I'm hitting them. When we do another drop, I'm hitting them. Let's say we're doing a sale, I'm hitting them.